video, we will be going over firewalls and access control. What is a firewall? Well, in general, firewalls serve the purpose to protect the perimeter of the network security and to protect incoming and outgoing network traffic using certain rules. Firewalls record the incoming requests, inspect data packets, and block any unauthorized or unusual activity to the network. Having a firewall helps protect against any online attack or malware infection. There are different firewall types available depending on what type of environment you want to deploy it in. In our case, we are interested in firewalls effective in cloud environments. Because cloud environments lack a perimeter that a traditional system would have, traditional firewalls would not be effective in securing the cloud's data. There are two primary types of firewalls that are ideal for cloud security: host-based firewalls and network-based firewalls. A host-based firewall is a software application installed on individual computers that is connected to the cloud. It helps monitor all the incoming and outgoing traffic to determine if it is safe to be directed to the device. As you can see from the image below, host-based firewalls are located at the end of host systems, acting as a second line of defense if unauthorized traffic has not been blocked by the network-based firewall. Using host-based firewalls does have its advantages. For example, this type of firewall gives organizations a lot of flexibility within their cloud environments. In other words, virtual machines and applications within the cloud can be easily moved between the cloud environments without the need to change the firewall security policy or rules. However, it is precisely the fact that the host-based firewall is implemented on the user's device that opens a window of opportunity for attackers. In the host-based firewall, the hacker can directly access the virtual machine and easily gain administrative access. Consequently, the attacker can switch off or disable the firewall or install malicious code within the system. Unlike host-based firewalls, network-based firewalls is built into the infrastructure of the cloud. By being placed and functioning on this network level, network-based firewalls is able to filter the traffic going from the internet to the LAN and vice versa. Network-based firewalls add another layer of security and complexity for a cloud environment, also making it more difficult for an attacker to infiltrate. Since firewall requires any traffic to pass through the network security infrastructure, an attacker would need to disguise their traffic as that will look benign to the firewall. And if the attacker fails to disguise the traffic, the firewall will easily detect the malicious traffic. Additionally, this firewall is a separate system from the host, making it more difficult for attackers to take over the network firewall and remove audit log entries. Now we will talk about access control. Access control protects data by setting specific conditions that allow users within an organization to gain, view, or access to specific data. For instance, you might allow specific employees, like managers, to access certain things while restricting others. Access control helps to provide employees access to only the tools they need to do their job. For example, a newly hired employee does not need as much access as a manager would. Access control handles the authentication and authorization issues, especially when dealing with large amount of data stored in the cloud. Access control systems can check the credentials or authorization users have by evaluating the required login credentials that can include passwords, PINs, biometric scans, etc. There is also a way to implement two or more authentication factors, which adds a layer of defense and security to protect access control systems. Additionally, by maintaining strict access control, you can keep critical documents and malicious insiders or hackers from with stolen credentials. You can think of access control as a door or a gateway with pre-existing electrified locks. Only certain keys can unlock certain locks. There are a variety of forms of access control. However, we can categorize or organize these different forms of access control into four major categories: discretionary access control, mandatory access control, role-based access control, and attribute-based access control. For the sake of this video, we will only be looking at the attribute-based access control since it is more suitable for distributed open systems like the cloud. The attribute-based access control, or the ABAC, is a method that evaluates a set of rules, policies, and relationships using the attributes of the users, systems, environmental control, and environmental conditions. Before discussing how ABAC works, it is important to define the four main components that comprise this kind of access control: users, resource, environment, and policy. The user sends requests to the cloud and invokes an action on the service. Typically, an action would be read or write. Resource refers to the system resource the user is trying to get access or perform an action onto. For example, resources can be data, applications, services, devices, or networks. In the image provided here, it is labeled as information asset but it serves the same purpose. The environment considers the situational context in which the access requests occur. They are independent of the user's credentials and resource. For example, an environmental condition can include the current time of the request, day of the week of the request, location of the user, etc. Lastly, policy is a representation of rules and relationships for determining if a requested access should be allowed given the values of the attributes of the user, provider, and environmental conditions. A user makes a request to the authorization engine to access or modify on resources. The authorization engine then decides to either grant or deny the user's access or permission. The authorization engine makes this decision based on the attributes of the user, attributes of the resource, environmental conditions, and the set of policies that are specified in the terms of the attributes and conditions. More specifically, the ABAC determines access on the resources by matching the current values of the user's attributes, resource attributes, and environmental conditions with the requirements specified in the access control policies. To wrap up this video, let's review what we've covered. Firewalls generally serve the purpose to protect the perimeter of your network security and to control incoming and outgoing network traffic using certain rules. However, since we are dealing with cloud environments that lack perimeter, traditional firewalls will not be effective in protecting the cloud's data. Despite this issue, there are still two main types of firewalls that can provide security to the cloud: host-based firewalls and network-based firewalls. Both firewalls serve the fundamental purpose of monitoring and filtering the traffic from malicious traffic. However, the host-based firewalls are located at the host system or devices, and the network-based firewalls are located on the perimeter of the network, or within the cloud infrastructure. The difference of the firewall's locations affect the type of security and risks present. Host-based firewalls is ideal for small networks since it is implemented directly on the host device. Additionally, the higher chances of attacks would be too dangerous for a large business or corporation's network. Therefore, network-based firewalls are a must for larger networks since there are more levels of security in place. Clients with large enterprise network can and are encouraged to have both types of firewalls for optimal security. Access control protects the data by setting specific conditions that restrict visibility of certain data to a user within an organization. In doing so, access control ensures authentication and authorization of a user before accessing sensitive and confidential data. Not only is access control helpful to users within an organization, but also prevent unauthorized hacks. There are many different models of access control. However, overall, there are 4 different major types of access control. In this video, we only looked at the attribute-based access control model. With the ABAC model, the ABABC model makes decision relying on the attributes of the users, policies, resources, and environments. Additionally, this model is scalable and flexible, therefore making it more suitable for the cloud environments. Thank you for watching this video.